So I suck at FPS games, and if video games are an imitation of real life, would that mean real life tactics would also be effective in them? So me and Dogman did a ton of research and made a list of the most effective military tactics that would make you better at FPS games.
And please, utilize micro-terrain and cover. There's a reason why it's so effective in real life. If you're getting shot at and the only thing around you is a small change in terrain or some rubble, use it. This also goes together with my other point. Most realistic FPS games let you go prone, so use it. This dramatically decreases where you can get shot. This is very useful in games such as Arma 3 and Stalker 2. Even if you're not able to go prone, and even in games where most of your gunfights are close quarters, such as Ready or Not or DMZ, specifically on the Vondel map, small cover, or straight up just laying on the ground, will ensure that we can't end in a loss. Doesn't end with you staying up all night.
Welcome to another episode of What Did I Do Wrong in This Combat Situation?
Hold on, let me play the clip.
And you, go first.
Shooting too much?
Wrong. Dogman.
You see, you didn't change cover. There was multiple enemies in the vicinity of you, and you kept using the same cover. This building had a lot of windows, which could have and should have been used instead. And they even threw a grenade at your position. If you were somewhere else, shrapnel would have hit you.
Exactly.
This is unrelated, but please do not use vehicles for cover. If it takes enough damage, in most games it will explode. Also vehicles, from what I've seen, if you use it or someone else uses it, and it stays there not being used, in some games they will explode after slowly taking damage, so keep in mind so you don't end up like this guy. Stay vigilant. You don't know who's lurking in the shadows waiting to kill you.
And please, keep moving. You'll keep your enemies guessing, and if you're playing more of an arcade shooter, consider strafing, as it gives you more of a tactical advantage.
And if you don't know, strafing is when you move left and right to avoid fire. Very effective in more arcade games, not very effective in more hardcore games, just like in real life.
And please, avoid big open-ass spaces, as you can and will be shot from anywhere, unless it's absolutely necessary. And if it is, utilize micro-terrain, as I've stated before. And, oh yeah, please try to avoid friendly fire. There's a reason why Ukrainians and Russians wear armbands, to signify their side. Always face the enemy when you're attacking, especially if you have body armor. And learn how different munitions sound, so you can better plan your attack. And if you're in a team, please space yourself out. You don't want a mass casualty situation because someone threw a grenade into your building and now everyone's dead.
Also, CQC situations are very dangerous, a lot more dangerous than in normal combat situations, given the lack of control you have. So be very, very careful in them buildings. And if you like this video, consider subscribing, as we will be posting videos every 2 to 3 weeks. Also, regarding firearms, I recommend ditching SMGs and shotguns and using assault rifle. It is still very effective in CQC, including rocket launchers. But besides, it doesn't matter too much rifle you choose, as long as you can hit long-range shots. It's up to personal preference pretty much. Before we enter, I do want to mention I cannot disclose who he was soldier for, and he was forced into the role. Also, the topics are more broad as that expose what he did. Anyways, let's get into it.
I'm Wheatley Science, and this is fucking whatever the hell your name is. I don't know if you want to say it. Alright, so I think I'm gonna ask what's everyone's I'm gonna ask what's already on everyone's mind. Are you still in like a combat zone, quote unquote, per se?
No, thank God I'm not in a combat zone anymore.
Riddle me this. Full auto or semi-automatic? When, how, or where should you do it?
Well, in all my combat experience, I always, not always, but I mostly use semi-automatic. And I'm gonna tell you why. When you're trying to shoot at somebody, full auto has tons of recoil. Like, it's very hard to control like an actual automatic weapon, hitting consistent shots. Then, just a waste of bullets. You don't want to waste a lot of bullets when you're in a combat scenario, because you need to have everything to survive, especially bullets, because then you're defenseless. Just to put it everything simply, just go automatic when you're in a CQC scenario, and go semi-automatic like most of the times.
Okay, so what I notice a lot is that, like, us gamers, subconsciously, when we're in a combat situation, naturally just go towards the enemy. Is that, like, okay to do, or should you try to keep your distance?
No. Well, it depends a lot in your situation and what you can do to avoid it, but going straight forward to your enemy is not gonna be it. In real life, you will not just go and risk your life for nothing. Look, for example, let's say you're in a place like Ukraine, right? Ukraine has a lot of micro terrain, which is like little holes in the ground. You should actually use everything you have in your favor to just take cover. So you don't go just against your enemy like you're John Cena or something like that. No, you don't. You actually have to be smart about it. So take lots of cover. Don't show up your body too much. Only show yourself when you know you have an advantage.
So in conclusion, use microtrain and prone. Be very cautious how you position yourself. Space out your team to avoid mass casualties. Use semi-auto and full auto in the right situations, and keep moving. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. And if you want to see how a crew from a hit indie game, Mouthwashing, completely failed in regards to survival, click here. Bye bye.